going on in September. Pretty much, Bardsley Institute had one thing and one thing only on their mind, and we'll see if you can pick up what that might have been. Also, September was clearly, because I've got lots of September entries. I've had some months where there's been not very many at all. It's not! Hold that thought! Hold that thought, Roy. Well remembered. Yeah, we still need to sort out the potato pie supper, don't we? Okay, so starting in 1930, it was approved they would have a cafe at the Institute in October. That's the first reference to a cafe. It seems a terribly modern word. I don't know, I was surprised to see the word cafe written in 1930. I don't know why, I'm sure they existed. 6p for adults, 3p for children. September 1931, it was moved and seconded that the Institute hires a caretaker. Definitely had references previously to caretakers, so I don't know what happened to the previous one, no juicy gossip, but they agreed they would have a meeting 6 days later to plan the caretaker's duties. I'm guessing it was pretty much everything. The caretaker's duties include everything. There we go. It was approved that they would open the winter programme with a concert to be held on the last Wednesday of October. And I like that. If this was September now, that would be called a Christmas programme. I'm telling you, there's Christmas stuff in the shops already. But in 1931, they did it properly. This is a winter programme. And if we're on the streets demonstrating, I want that to be added to it, please. Slight bit of gossip. It was noted that members, this just makes me smile. It was noted that members who had been smoking over the billiard table and misbehaving in any way should be brought before the committee. And that's all it said. It just sounds so ominous. It's like, what, were they taken out and shot? You know, you'll be brought before the committee. That's all it is. It's so abbreviated and it's just so ominous. So let's see if we find out next month what actually were they exiled? You have to go and live in hide for the next 6 months. I don't know, I need to know. So, 1932, mostly concerned with arranging billiards matches with Failsworth and arranging whist drives. 1933, dominant issue at hand, arranging of billiards matches. 1934, first order of the day, confirming the selection committee for the Billiards League. Whist drives also, to commence from the 10th of October. They also voted to agree that the top door was to be locked every night. So I don't know what nefarious activities have been going on, but hopefully no longer. September 1935, billiards team selected. It was agreed, however, any billiards player more than 1 year in arrears with their subscription will not be allowed to play until you've paid up. Whist drives, there was a written list of rules. They wrote out the rules, which were also to be read out before the beginning of each whist drive, and this one tickled me. Any lady playing any gents, that's fine, but you can only compete for the ladies' prize, which tells me that it possibly wasn't as good as the men's prize. Possibly. Anyone? Oh, you said this. Are there any whist players in here? No, because it said anyone arriving late, prompt kick-off at 8:15 would get 6 tricks. And I had a look online and I was none the wiser. It's all very complicated, so I didn't know if anyone here played whist. No, never mind, I'm still none the wiser. It was also agreed that Mr. J. Riley would be given full charge of the electric lights. No one was to obtain a new light bulb without turning in the old one. I don't make these up, I just make sure you're all aware. And then there was an unusual entry, first time I've seen one like this. It said that Mrs. Newman be given the further £1 per annum she had applied for. Now, there's no first name, there's not even an initial, there's remarkably little I can do to find out who Mrs. Newman was, or why she was in receipt of a payment, but maybe it was a hardship fund she was accessing. I like to think that's something maybe the Institute would have dealt with. It's on my to-do list. See if I can find something. 1937, we've got a Chara trip, going to take place 23rd of October, destination Blackpool, but don't worry, the billiards team was agreed. 1938, billiards team arranged. Whist drives to commence and to run until Christmas. However, and this was a bit unusual of them, no refreshments were to be offered. Normally they're overflowing with potato pie suppers and, you know, but time's hard. 1946, agreed they'd enter the Billiards League, team team selected. And for 1947, I've just written billiards. But again, it was also agreed in the slightly threatening way that the Institute excelled at. Members whose subs were in arrears were to be approached by the secretary and then taken out and shot. It was agreed they would buy a new set of billiards balls. However, the repair of the billiards table was to be postponed. And I'm like, that makes no sense. No sense at all. And they were going to ask the school if they could use the premises for a whist drive and a dance on New Year's Eve. September 1948, they mentioned billiards. I don't know what happened. However, 1951, billiards, captains of the first and second teams chosen, and it was agreed that the darts board once again be put into commission. If we're worrying about the billiard table, fret not. September 1952, the meeting was opened with discussion about the purchase of a new billiard table cover for the princely sum of £9.12, but it was then discussed and they decided to ask someone whose name I could not decipher to look into the price of having one made. I know it's a bit expensive. We chose the team captains and vice captains for the billiards team, and there was a rather odd note. It just said, the matter of the curtains was left over for the time being. There we go. But new billiard balls were purchased. 1953, I love this. It was decided who was going to take the billiard team photographs. That's the first reference to any photos in the minutes, and I love it. And I hope they're knocking around somewhere. I don't know where they might be, but if the church has another open day in September like they have the last few years, I'm definitely going to be asking, do you have any photos? I would love to see those. And September 1953, first mention of a potato pie supper. Get in. No date, but watch this space. September 1954, and I'm reading this verbatim. The meeting was called to discuss matters concerning the 1954-1955 billiard season. There was no further business. And then I've written for 55, 56, 57 and 63, billiards. So clearly that's when it all kicked off. September was the start of the billiards season, and I am here for it. I am here for it. So let's see, maybe there may be a bit more to the winter programme in October. Maybe there'll be a bit more whist. Maybe we'll find out to those who were approached. Can I have a word? Right there, mate. But yes, we shall see. Thank you all so much for coming along, and remember, 7:15 next time.